Okay, hello everybody. My name is Georgi Vasiljevic. If you participated in the last session, you know that we talked about interactive maps and how they can increase or just to move this somewhere or even down. Okay, better up. Hello everybody, my name is Georgi Vasiljevic. First of all, please mute your microphones. If anybody wants to say anything, please interrupt me and or write in the chat. Maybe I will not be able to see it at the perfect moment, but please, maybe it's best to unmute and then tell if you have some comments or questions. Also, please rename yourself so we can know where do you come from and what is your name. And let's start this first part of this today's session. So we will today talk about digital interactive media and virtual tours, or how can virtual tours help in interpreting our heritage. This is fifth of 5 sessions within NatureTalks project, which is co-financed by Erasmus+. We already talked about this project, so we have 5 partners from Poland, Serbia, Italy, Slovenia, and Greece, and we would like to enhance heritage interpretation, mostly in protected and natural areas, but also in any other kind of tourism destinations and locations. We had already 4 sessions, which were held by my good friends Katerina and Carmen and myself. It was Introduction to Heritage Interpretation, Interpretive Guiding, Interpretive Writing. Last session was on Monday about digital maps and how to draw and how to present maps. And today we will try to a little bit enhance even these digital maps and to give them some interactivity through virtual tours. After these sessions, we will create curricula and then have in-person workshops within each of partner countries, so Italy, Serbia, Slovenia, Poland, and Greece. And I invite you all to stay in contact and then to try to see each other in person and try to implement these sessions in person, which is, I'm sure, more effective than these online sessions. Which is the agenda for today. So first we will have small, short theoretical part about virtual tours, after which we will have, of course, occasion to ask questions or give some comments. Of course, I told you that you can always interrupt, please unmute and then ask some question. Then, if needed, we will have 5-minute break, and then after that we will continue what we started last time in our last session. So we will try to create interactive map with some virtual tours. After that, we will have, of course, again Q&A session, and then your feedback and checkout. So let's start. Of course, we always start with some icebreaker questions. So I would like to see if any of you have some experience with virtual tours. So when you were traveling to natural areas or any kind of other destinations, have you used, or even before traveling to some areas, have you used virtual tours as a source of interpretation or getting information? You can write in chat box or unmute yourself however you want.
I think that these virtual tours became popular during the Corona period. Before that, people are not really using them. So I remember that everyone was going in national parks and museums around the world during this quarantine period. They're visiting through their PCs.
Yes, yes, great comment. Have you ever used a virtual tour, or have you ever visited a virtual tour on computer or mobile phone or in some visitor center?
Yes, in one museum, I've seen virtual tour of a different exhibition, not the one that was currently there.
Great. Katerina wrote that she visited some archaeological site virtual tours. Yes, they're also very popular. And Ivana, you're right. So during the coronavirus or during the lockdowns, most of the museums and galleries and tourism attractions opened their virtual tours for free. Actually, they're paid version for these kind of tours, but during lockdowns, they open their virtual tours for free. Next question for you is, do you know what's the difference between 360 tours and VR tours? Can we have some? Katerina says no. Okay. Mercury. I also only associate with virtual tours with museums. Okay.
I think virtual tours are with the VR glasses, and 360 are with the phone or something like that.
Okay, I like your answer because it's not true. That means that I will teach you something today. Okay, let's start then with this presentation. First, we'll talk about virtual or 360 tours. So what are virtual tours? What are 360 tours? First of all, what is a 360 tour? 360 tour is a tour which combines 360 photos. Now, what are 360 photos? They're images that captures everything around you, like you're in person somewhere, so you can see in any directions you want, up, down, left, right, in front of you, behind you. So it is captured by a specialized camera. You can also do something like that on your mobile phones, but those are not that high quality images. It's because these specialized cameras have, I'll try to show you, these fisheye lenses, which are on both sides of the camera, from left to right. So they're like a little bit over the edge, and they can take photo to each directions that you want to see. So it's actually an image. It's a photograph. So it is not something that is virtual. On the other hand, so where did you? I'm certain that you used 360 tour is Google Street View. So when you want to go somewhere and you don't know how some building or a house or something looks like, you go to Google Maps, you have that person in the angle, and then you put it in the right street, and it shows you the 360 tour actually of that place. So this is probably where you have met 360 technology. It is used by Google, the company Google. You can see in the right down corner the Google car, or the Google Street View car, which has that thingy on the top, which is actually a really high quality 360 camera, which is much bigger than this that I have. And this car goes through the city or on the whole planet, and it's recording a 360 photo on every 20 to 40 meters. And then, of course, via GPS and lidars, it is uploading it into database. And this is when you connect those photos, you can move through the space that you haven't visited or similar. Actually, 360 tours are, let's say, one part of virtual tours, because those images are virtual because they're not reality. So something that is not reality, it's virtual. But there is slight difference or big difference between VR and 360 tours. First of all, Yes, you can see a virtual tour on your phones, on your computers, on your tablets, on your VR headset. Of course, you can also look it over there. There are some headsets for virtual reality which are expensive, and they're also in Chinese shops you can buy for 10 euros, where it looks like VR goggles, but you can put inside your telephone and then put 360 tour, and then you can see it as a VR. And of course, some tourism destinations use it on touchscreens in museum galleries, in some visitor centers, so they can be also implemented there. So what is a VR tour? VR tour is everything is immersive. So the whole environment is digitally immersive. It's drawn like cartoon, like a video game. So nothing is like a photo. Nothing is real. So everything was drawn by computers, and it requires headset. Headset for VR cannot be cheap. They have to be expensive because they have to be connected to computer, and they have to recapitulate the whole game or the whole virtual reality. You can feel like you're inside of this environment because you can walk through, like walking, you can visit something. Most of high quality or popular famous tourism destination use exactly VR technology rather than 360 technology because it's more effective. It has greater interactivity because you can walk, you can play games. You see this girl on this photo is holding these sets so she can fight with these knights. You can play games, you can simulate some scenarios, you can of course interact with surroundings. So this is the main change from 360 to VR is actually that the whole environment was drawn, not taken photo, but drawn. Okay, have you heard of augmented reality or AR? So this is the third version of, let's say, virtual tours. Yeah, we have 360 tours, we have virtual reality, and we have augmented reality. Actually, augmented reality is also similar to virtual reality, but what you can see, so you're looking through the VR headset, so you see your surroundings as it is in that moment, but some things are virtual. For instance, if this girl was visiting some fortress or some medieval city, so she would go and look surroundings of these buildings and the city and all other things, and in one moment augmented, so it's added to reality. So augmented means something is added to reality. One knight stands up and says something, like tells a story or try to fight you or show you the way or interpret some heritage. So your reality is exactly the same that you're looking in that moment. Of course, you have to be in that space, in that area, but something is augmented. So something is added to your reality, which is virtual. So this is the main difference. Sorry if it's a little bit confusing, but I had to just explain you these definitions. So what are the benefits of 360 tours? First of all, accessibility. Accessibility, as people can travel somewhere that they cannot, especially elderly people or people with physical disabilities. This picture on the right shows that some protected areas created trails which don't have that inclination, so people in wheelchairs can walk through the let's say national park or some protected area. But in some cases, due to landscape, people with disabilities cannot go there, so they can use 360 photos or 360 tours to visit those places. Also, what we do with Google Street View, we can plan our trip. So if we go to, let's say, Barcelona, and we want to book accommodation, and we want to see what is the neighborhood of that hotel or that apartment, we can go to Google Maps and see the whole scenery, the whole part of the city where we plan to visit. Of course, it can interpret hard to reach destinations, which are not just hard to get by people elderly or with disabilities, but to normal people, let's say to people who can walk and run. Also, they can interpret restricted areas, which leads us to heritage conservation. So if there are some parts, and there are some parts of protected areas where the access is denied, we can create 360 tours, and then people do not have to go there, but they can take 360 tours and then have the experience of that place. Also, with sensitive ecosystems, if in some period of the year people shouldn't go to some part of natural areas, then we can create 360 tours, and then people would not go there. Also, about archaeological sites, who are also sensitive to walking, to picking some artifacts, etc. And also other sensitive cultural heritage like medieval castles or some fossil sites or something like that. Also, it produces interactivity. The best example is, for instance, if schools with pupils or students want to learn something about some space, they don't have to go to the field trip. They can explore the area with 360 tours. It can, of course, provide much stronger emotional connection. It can encourage curiosity and discovery, because they will get some information, more information than if they see video or if they see some images of that place. And the visitor can learn at their own pace. So they can today start looking at some part of the natural area or tourism attraction, then tomorrow they can learn something else. Or if they want to read something or to feel something, they can always choose in what time or which place they can visit some attraction. Okay, so this was literally briefly about 360 tours and virtual tours. Now I will show you what is the procedure, or how to create one 360 tour step by step. This is from my point of view, because I'm teaching a course on interpreting natural and cultural heritage on my faculty, and as a practical part of this course, we have a creation of 360 tours, and my students really love it because it's really practical, and they can then expand their knowledge and, of course, maybe even start their business with these tours. So this is how I created with them. So this is step-by-step guidance from my perspective. First, what you need. So we have a chat. Okay, thank you, Jakub. First part is, okay, first of all, we will continue the last time's pilot area, which is Danube Park in Novi Sad in Serbia. We created a map of this park. So after that, we started, of course, to set the distribution of the photos that we want to take, 360 photos we want to take within this part. What I first did, I printed that map and then set up these 18 locations. Just to tell you that this park is not that big. It's maybe 150 by 150 meters. So it's not that big park. In some bigger areas, you may take at least hundreds or even dozens of hundred photos, so you can create one 360 tour, or you can just create interactive map. So today we will do something in the middle. So we will create both 360 tour and interactive map, because I will show you later how it's done. So first step is to sketch the area. So you need to sketch each of these hotspots or spots that you want to present within your tour. As I said, I've chosen 18 positions of this park. Actually, you see that I made some changes when I went to the park. So you need first, it's better to first go to the park, then to point out all the points, hotspots, and then to come back, take a camera, and then go, because it takes a lot of time for you to take photos and do the sketch in the same time, because these cameras do not have, its battery doesn't last very much, so it can be that you can have to go back and fill the battery and then come back. So it's better first to go to sketch the area, to make the points where you want to create these photos or capture these photos, and then go back to get your camera, and then of course pick up the best period for taking these photos. Second step, what I did, of course, is to, let's say, filter that sketch. So I created this kind of map where exactly I want to put each photo. So I don't want to mess up with anything. So I created graphically. I drawn where do I want to put all my photos. This is also good because when you take photos, you can actually after that rename those photos. So you have some kind of schedule which photo is from which part of the here park, because when you open the photo on your computer, you will see it's not that clear unless you are in 360 players, so you will not be able to see what is in the photo. So it's better to put these labels. I put numbers, somebody puts a combination of letters and numbers, whatever you want, but you need to label them perfectly. After that, you have to choose. So what I do, I first sketch the area, visit the area, sketch the area, then I pick up the best period to take these photos. Best time is morning or late afternoon when you have soft light, so the sun is not above you. You will see that my photos were taken at noon, which are not that perfect, but I had to choose because here in Novi Sad it's not that good weather these days, so I needed to pick the sun when it's out. So cloudy days are good, but sometimes they cannot provide much light for the photo, so they cannot be that good. Best period, of course, for taking photos in nature is spring or even summer. If you want some autumn colors, orange or yellow, you can take photos also in autumn. Or if you want some atmospheric photos like in winter during the snow, you can also take them in snow during the winter. But you have to choose what you want to present, of course. What should you avoid when taking photos is midday. What I had at noon in the park, because it was overcrowded, and when you put your camera, some people may distract the attraction that you want to take photo. Then you have to wait for people to go away and then to take photos. Of course, unless it's intentional crowd, then you should avoid definitely crowd and strong wind because it can first of all move your tripod, your camera, so push it down from the tripod, or the photos, especially when branches are moving, the photos can be much blurred. So we should avoid also strong wind. So for me, best period is morning, springtime, in the early morning, and when it's calm, so without any winds. I already showed you this camera that I have. It is Insta360 1R. That is the model of this camera. It is 360 camera. The price of it is about 250 euros. There are a lot of high quality cameras, but for this case, I think it was more than enough. How it works, so you put it on the tripod. You can see on the picture on the right, because you need to, it needs to be stable. We put it usually on the height of 180 centimeters. I'm not sure why, but it somehow photos look perfect when it's that height. There is an application for each of the cameras. So application for this camera is Insta360 mobile app, which you upload and install on your telephone. And then, of course, you connect your mobile phone with the camera and take photos. The best technique to take photos is to set the timer for 10 seconds, and then to put timer under the tripod so it's not visible, the telephone under the tripod, and then run away to some trees or something like that, and then count 10 seconds and come back, and the photos will be taken. So this is how I do it. So I set the timer, 5 to 10 seconds, depends on the distance of the tree and how fast can I run, and then put telephone under the tripod and, let's say, get out of the set. Next step is, again, we have to install another application. So we need to transfer these photos from our camera to our computer, so we can later insert them into a 360 tour. For this camera, we have an application which is called Insta360 Studio. So you can see here how photos look like when you upload them to your computer, when you open them like usual photos. So it's not that visible what is in a photo because it is somehow transformated. We transfer all the photos to our computer. With this program, with Insta Studio, we can also set brightness, contrast, some colors, so we can put them to be as clear as possible and as best as possible. So this is what this step does. So you can transfer the photos from the file type, which is INSP on the camera, and transfer them into JPEG photos on the computer, and then to set everything, all the colors, the brightness, how you want them to be. And then step 4, which is the final step, is to build a tour. Of course, again, you need another application to build a tour. Today I've chosen 4 applications or 4 softwares that I sometimes use or sometimes have used sometimes. First one is 3D Vista. 3D Vista is professional software for 360 tours. It is one-time purchase. So you buy the license, you install the software on a computer, and then you have it forever, which is great. I have this when I do commercially, I do only with 3D Vista. The other 3 softwares or applications that I want to present, they are a sign-in process. So you go to their website, you sign in with your Google account, and then either pay or have trial version of these softwares. First one is Kula. We will do something in Kula today. Kula is great. You will see it, so I don't want to present it now. I will present later in the practical part. The other one is Marcipano. Marcipano is completely free, but it has some bad sides. For instance, you can't have interactive map with Marcipano. So you can only, like in Google Street View, so the first set or the first scene is 360 photo, and then you go through the 360 photos and have a tour. So you cannot have the set of interactive map and then to choose locations where you want to visit, but you have to go only through the tour. And ThingLink is great because it gives also trial version. It is not that good as Kula and 3D Vista, but it can. I do with ThingLink with my students because I can set their I can set some assignments in this software to them. It's also sign-in program. You can afterwards you can always try them with your Google account. Now I will show you one example. This is interactive map. Do you see the map? Sorry, I don't know if you see the whole map.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So this is the interactive map of Fruška Gora. It was done by me and 2 of my colleagues for this national park. Here on the right up corner is city of Novi Sad, and Fruška Gora is really a big national park. It is 80 by 30 kilometers in size. This is why we had to choose some destination or locations which we wanted to present. Unfortunately, this interactive map or 360 or virtual tour is in Cyrillic, so you will probably not be able to read anything. But when the map loads, only info center is shown on the map. But in the legend, you can turn on and turn off which attractions you want to see. Why we did this? Because it would be overcrowded with these hotspots if we put all these localities turned on in one place. So visitors can turn on and turn off whichever attraction they want to visit or have interested in. Another thing is that when you stand on each of these icons, it gives you the label of these attractions. And then, of course, when you go to some of the, let's choose info center. The 360 map, or the 360, photo of the info center shows. This is, of course, outside of info center. There's a label, what is info center and all the things about the info center of National Park. You can go inside, or you can even go and visit the trail, which so we created the 360 tour of the trail. Of course, the trail is some 10 kilometers, so we only took several photos within the trail and connect them with one tour. I will show you that later. Or you can go inside the info center and visit the gallery. And just check out the space, or you can visit their exhibition on stuffed animals and some geological specimens. This was the first thing that we did as 360 tours, so it's not that high quality. The photos are also not that high quality, but it presents really great how the info center looks like. You can go back on the map anytime you want. Then, for instance, we can choose some other localities like Vernik Tower. Also, you get information, and then you can similar to 360 tours, or similar to Google Street View, you can go and visit you can see here us, because we couldn't escape anywhere, so we had to be there. So you can climb to the tower. Maybe you're asking yourself, why we don't have any interpretation here? It's only a tour. It's because they didn't want to pay for the interpretation, so they paid only for the 360 tour. So this is what we did some 3 or 4 years ago for National Park. And I want to show you another thing that we also now want to do regarding, just see, Verdict Fortress, yes. Verdict Tower, exactly. Yeah, but it is a fortress, yes. This is thing that we want to implement now in our future work with interpretation. It is actually to put the guide or the avatar guide. Sorry about the voice, because I was so excited because I managed to do this in the 3D Vista program. So I was so excited, and I was telling to my colleagues what I did. So please mind my voice in the background. Who understands Serbian? I'm sorry. So what I did, I put in one scene, I put the avatar. I also gave it a voice. So yes, so we are trying to in our next projects we will try to put even a real person, which will be recorded with the green screen, and then to cut the background and put into each scene to people, so the person can interpret the some areas or scenes or something like that. So this is the plan for the future works. Okay, now we literally ended the theoretical part. So if anybody has any question regarding what was said so far, please, or comment, or if you would like, please, you can turn on the microphone and talk. You don't have to write if it's easier to you. Okay, then if you don't have any questions, do we need a 5-minute break, or should I proceed to the practical part? It is possible, but it needs lighting. Davrina asked if it's possible to shoot in the caves or mines. It is possible, but it needs some additional lighting. It is doable, so yes. I prefer just to take a sip of water and then continue. Okay. Let's create a 360 tour of Daniel Park. I will now go to, I already mentioned you the Kula. Kula is, okay, start from the beginning. So Kula is 360 application. You can all sign in with your Gmail account. What you would need 360 photos. I will send you after this session. I will send you the link to the folder with all the photos, 360 photos, or you can download them from any other source if you have some other source which you want to, or area you would like to have as a pilot area. But I will, for your practice, I will share with you my folder when we share all 5 of the recordings of the session. So we have Kula. When we sign in with our Google account, we go to the left corner and we have our profile and our photos and our tours. So already created Danube Park tour. I didn't finish it because it would take much time to finish it, but I created some of the parts of the park. You remember that last time we created these icons. So I put all of these icons into the map. So how is done? We import the map and then go to edit. On each of these photos, I also uploaded. You can see in the bottom of the screen, you can see all 360 photos of the park, all 18 photos of the park that I took. I know on my paper that where each of these setting is. I have paper with me today, so I know where each of the setting is, or which of the hotspot is. Then I insert, I go to the hotspot. It puts one hotspot, which is something that I already use. I go to change image, and then I can change. I can pick off some of the some of these assets that are given to me or that I uploaded, or to choose from the assets that are already built in Kula. For instance, I want to put this tennis court. I know the tennis court is over here. What I can do with this icon that I inserted into the map, I can make it bigger or more visible. I can change its opacity if I want to make it more transparent, or I want to put it in 100 opacity. I can rotate it if I want, but I don't want to. I can put some textual, I can put some textual label like tennis court. Now you can see that this label is way up than I expect. This is one bad side of Kula, because as you can see here, I can put my labels wherever I want. So I can put it across the symbol if I want, or put it wherever I want. This is how I created that. When I put a lot of symbols, that none of these labels is above some other symbols. This is what Kula cannot do. So I would avoid putting labels, or you can put label under, or you can put it on the side, maybe like this, but it will cover the next symbol. But you can say that it's only on hover, so only when you put your cursor on the tennis court, it will show the label. Let's say that we don't want any of the labels. It can animate, so it can bounce, it can pulse, it can wave. Okay, let me put the pulse, and you can scale the intensity of this activity or animation. So we can put, let's say, 90%. And which is most important is to put action. So we can go to another post, or to go to some 360 photo which we want to open. To open the cart, for instance, if you want to have a cart, it's like information about this spot. So we can, let's say that when you click on tennis court, we can open the cart. We go to edit cart. We put tennis court. We can put some text. Let's say court, and copy some text about tennis court, short text about tennis court. We can add also image. Let's say we download some image of playing tennis. Do this one. And choose it. So edit the image. What we can also do, we can make design. We can choose the font, the size of the text padding, the color of font, color of link. We can set the size of this infographic, if it wants to be small or large or medium. Let's put it to medium. We can put it in rows or columns. For me, it's better to leave it as rows, but we can check what is the best. When we did all this, so our label or hotspot is finished, we click save. And now when I have problems with my Zoom because it's always interrupting me. I can't. Okay, okay, close. So when we stand to the tennis court, it will open the cart that that says something about tennis. This is how I created for some of these. So for instance, we want to create something from the Museum of Vojvodina. We go to edit. We stand on the icon that we inserted, Museum of Vojvodina. I already inserted the symbol. We can make maybe bigger because it's a big building. So in comparison to all the other attractions, maybe it could stand like this. We can change opacity, but I think it should be 100 opacity. We can rotate it, but it wouldn't be logical to put it like this. So we can maybe leave it like straight. We can put Museum of Vojvodina label. We can, even what we can do, we can say again, open cart, edit card, and then put the link of the site of Museum of Vojvodina. I will not do it now because, so we can again put some image, some text about museum, and then put the link to the museum website. So we can create the card where the people who want to visit the museum can get information from there. What I also did is created a small, not tour, but small thing about entering how you can connect these dots within this park. So if we click on this monument, it will open the tour or the 360 photo. I labeled these hotspots. This is something funny with this monument. I also make a card telling about Jure Jakšić, who is a monument all about. So there's a text and a photo about him. Also, we can zoom in and check the monument. In any time, we can go back to map if we want. Or we can walk around the park. So I put these labels on the left and to right because I know that I have one photo taken over here. I have one photo taken over here. So I put this scene, next scene I put on this side. So I know that I have also one photo over here taken, which is by the lake and by this big willow. I can put it right now. So we go to edit, hotspot. We can change this, of course, image to more appropriate icon, which is this one. What I also can do with icons, I can put them on the floor. Here it says position. They can be 2D. They can be like put on the wall. If you put it aside, it looks like you put the hotspot on the wall, or we can put it on the floor, which indicates that people can go and discover more into that direction. I also put one more to go back to the first scene. So let's first save. Yes, sorry, I didn't put the interactivity. So I want to put the action to this button on the floor. So I go to action, go to another post. For my paper, I see I need scene number 3 or photo number 3. I choose photo number 3, then save. And then when I close, so I can go back to the beginning or go further. So it took me by the lake. If I want to go back to the first scene, I again need to put a hotspot. Of course, to this now is by default the floor hotspot, so its position is on the floor. I go to the action, go on to another post. Now I choose the previous image, which is this, save, and when I close, so I can look around, I can put some hotspots to interpret the location, or I can go back and then go back to the beginning. So these are mainly things that you need to do when you're doing a 360 tour. So you have to connect all the dots, all the hotspots by these floor hotspots or arrows on the floor, or you can put some of these, let's say, interpreting things. What Kula doesn't do, unfortunately, you cannot, like I showed you the thing with Avatar, you cannot import a person, living person talking to each other, talking to the visitors. But what you can do here is to create really nice interactive tour or 360 tour of any destination that you want. So this is actually how I wanted to present. So this is really hard work because you need to, when you go back to the first scene, so you need to calculate, and on each of these photos that you took or had in your plan, you need to connect to all other scenes. So if anybody gets into the tour, not to get in one photo and then cannot go back. So you need to connect all the points, all the hotspots into one tour. This is a little bit boring job, but it's really cool. So you can have icons pulsing or waving or be just solid on the map. So this is what I wanted to briefly show you how the tour is created. Maybe if you have some questions. Okay, we have something in chat. Okay. If you have any questions regarding this, I know it's a little bit complicated or too fast for you, but when we see each other in person on in-person sessions, I'm sure that it will be much better and much more understandable for you. I will show you practically. We will choose one area in your protected area. We will choose attractions. We will make a plan, and then we will go shooting, and then we will go shooting, capturing, taking photos, and then we will come back and create a tour in the software. So I'm sure that in that moment you will be better prepared on creating 360 tours. So do you have any questions or comments? These tours can be only viewed on computer or phone, or also all three. They can be viewed on the phone, on computer, on touch screens, on VR headsets. They can be viewed in any of these things. Only virtual tours that I mentioned, where everything is drawn like a video game, they can be only viewed on VR headsets, not on computers, because it wouldn't be that really. It would be like playing video game. There are two kinds of headsets. One kind of headset is connected to computer by Bluetooth or cable, and one kind of headset is where you load your 360 tour on your telephone and then put into a headset, and then you're watching your telephone, but it it gives some kind of, with lenses, it gives some kind of 360 experience. They are cheap. They are some kind, I think maybe 10 to 20 euros, but they're really efficient. It's like virtual tour. Welcome, Masha. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Thank you, Tanasia. So I really love creating 360 tours. If you have any plans for collaboration, if you need any assistance, anything, you will be able to watch this recording, and then you have my email, so you can contact me and we can share our experience and maybe give you some advices or even help you with this 360 tour. Before we go, please, I will now paste you the link to the feedback form, because we need to know how efficient this was. I will now stop sharing. I will just paste you in the chat box the link. Please, just if we can have your 1 more minute to fill in the form and to see how efficient we were in this session. As I said, this is largely practical session, so it needs to be in person. I gave my best to put it in this version, in Zoom version, so it will be much better and much more practical when we see each other in person in the next 2 years.